Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. A weakened tropical storm Elsa dumped heavy rain across Florida's northern Gulf Coast earlier today. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the very latest as it moves up and out toward the East Coast now in our top story at 5.
Elsa lashing Florida. The system making landfall, whipping the state with heavy winds and dumping torrential rains.
I'm trying to protect the house from getting flooded.
The storm coming in early hurricane season. Florida's Gulf Coast has not seen a hurricane make landfall in July in 134 years. Elsa bringing up to 5 feet of storm surge as it scrapes the beaches near Tampa.
Why this is a big deal, you have so many buildings, such a huge population, low-lying. You've had sea level rise of late. The boulevard that we're standing along floods regularly, even in a bad thunderstorm, so we do anticipate that that will be covered in water in parts of Tampa.
The system unleashing violent winds in Cedar Key. Tourists there riding out the storm.
About 4 hours ago, when it was pre-dawn, it was much stronger. It was raining about dawn and about 7:30, and it really peaked.
The wet ground coupled with the sustained wind gusts bringing down trees. This car crushed. The driver, thankfully not inside. And the U.S. Coast Guard says it rescued 15 people after a cargo ship spotted the group in the water. Still, that desperate rescue effort continues. This as Elsa tracks towards the East Coast, bringing that heavy wind and rain and a risk for tornadoes. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And the search for victims in the collapsed condo in South Florida has reached its 14th day now. Workers have recovered 10 more bodies from that rubble, raising the death toll now to 46. Fire officials telling families today they have concluded it will now be next to impossible to find people alive as they shift their efforts from rescue to recovery. Today, Haiti's President Jovenel Moise was assassinated in his private home amidst ongoing political unrest. His wife also shot and injured, her condition unknown. That unrest is having an effect in Siouxland on missionaries who make regular trips to the country to provide education and food to Haitians. For missionaries like Touch of Hope based in Siouxland, concern is looming over when they could go back to help those in need. KCAU 9's Jason Toktagian will explain how local mission groups are reacting to the news and what it is they do for the Haitians they're in need. That's coming up tonight at 10. South Dakota is sending additional National Guard members to the southern border. Governor Kristi Noem approved that deployment of approximately 125 soldiers for 9 to 12 months. They will be in a federal pay status. The soldiers are members of the South Dakota National Guard's 1,742nd Transportation Company stationed in Sioux Falls and Flandreau. They will join 50 other South Dakota Guard members previously announced to be deploying. Roughly 3,000 Guard members from several states are now involved in this federal mission. New information tonight about a shooting incident in downtown Sioux City. It happened last Sunday. 2 people were injured and treated at Mercy One, one with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound and a second with some minor cuts. Police then found evidence of a shooting at the Afterset. It's a club also known as Esquire, and believe the victims at Mercy One were injured in that incident. Now, police say the victims are refusing to cooperate with their investigation, but detectives are continuing to pursue any leads. So if you have information, you're asked to call the number there right on your screen, 712-258-8477. A Dakota Dunes man will be pleading guilty in court for embezzling from a North Sioux City business. 33-year-old Joshua McElroy was originally charged with grand theft and embezzlement of property received in trust. Court documents reveal he took between $100,000 to $500,000 of property from Murphy Insulation. That's between 2017 and 2020. He did it with the property he had both authorized and unauthorized control over. He will plead guilty to the Class 4 felony of grand theft. This as part of a plea agreement. The court will dismiss all other charges in exchange. He will receive probation, and the state will recommend he be sentenced to 6 years in prison. South Sioux City is taking some steps tonight to prevent cyber attacks. At a city finance meeting, the city of South Sioux approved a 3-year contract with Cisco. That's to provide a multi-factor authentication service for $25,000. That service was needed to continue to have cybersecurity insurance.
all sizes of governments and all private institutions. It's definitely going across the country. You're seeing every day people getting hacked, and we need to do what we can to help prevent that happening here.
Ransomware has become a major national security challenge, as we know, in recent months. President Joe Biden is vowing consequences for Russia as a result. The long debate over CAFO or CAFO restrictions looks like it's coming to an end, but it's not without a fight. For nearly 2 years, Yankton County residents have been debating over Article 5. That's a proposed ordinance that would ultimately place more restrictions on smaller animal operations and increase setbacks in return. There would be minimal requirements placed on new residences in an ag-zoned district, as well as the zoning preference to animal operations in existence before a new resident, and the ability for those small animal operations to get a building permit if they meet a list of criteria. That is, without going through the CUP process.
Basically, it just creates a more harsh burden on any producer, increases our costs, and increases the scrutiny we have to do our job every day.
In 2 weeks, a second meeting will be held. That is where commissioners will make their deciding vote. Coming up tonight at 6, KCAU 9's Mallory Smith brings us more reaction from residents and officials, plus their opinions on this matter. Hot debate there, and another warm night here in Siouxland. Our first official check on the weather. It seems like most of us escaped any kind of moisture today, but it still feels like we got some from yesterday.
Right, we had a fair amount of rain happen in Siouxland yesterday, Sophie. That was certainly nice to see, and today that's yielding some cooler temperatures with the passage of that cold front. Highs today in the 70s throughout Siouxland. You can see that by far it is the coolest day of the month of July to this point. Until today, we had highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Today, mid 70s for Sioux City. Tonight is going to be peaceful and pleasant, as it looks like temperatures will sink into the 50s. Tomorrow, a chance of some rain and then some thunderstorms as we head into Friday. Some of those could be strong or severe. We'll have the latest updates on that coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie.
Thanks, Scott. Former President Donald Trump has filed suit against 3 of the country's biggest tech companies, claiming he's been wrongfully censored by them. Trump is taking action against Facebook, Twitter, and Google's YouTube, as well as the company's CEOs. Trump was suspended from Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube after his followers stormed the Capitol building back on January 6th of this year. The company cited concerns he would incite further violence.
Our case will prove this censorship is unlawful, it's unconstitutional, and it's completely un-American.
Under Section 230 of the 1996 Communication Decency Act, social media platforms are allowed to moderate their services by their own standards, so as long as they're acting in, quote, good faith. Under a bipartisan bill that's now making its way through Congress, the Sioux City Explorers could be among the hundreds of minor league baseball teams getting a financial boost. The Minor League Baseball Relief Act would give up to $550 million to those teams. That comes out of about $15 million per team. Minor league teams across the nation generate economic activity for local restaurants, bars, and many other retailers.
For our business to not be able to bring in any revenue for a year and a half obviously took its toll. So we're very appreciative of this legislation and hope that it'll be able to help not only the Norwich Unicorns, but baseball teams around the country that were hit so hard by the pandemic.
Lawmakers who support this bill say it's only fair to help baseball teams after music and entertainment venues and restaurants also got some business-saving aid. Well, we know becoming a homeowner is not easy, but new data shows that young adults are saving up for that challenge. We'll explain how coming up in just a few minutes.
And it felt really nice out there today. It is going to stay a hair on the cooler side as we move through the next few days here. Some more rain chances are also dialed up for Siouxland, but we do have the potential for some severe storms on Friday. Your 9 on 9 forecast is coming up next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Wheelchairs in the 80s for much of the extended forecast, with a chance of some more showers and storms coming our way next Wednesday. Well, here's a great picture of a thunderstorm that occurred up in Clay County. Thanks to Stephanie Horsley for snapping this picture and sending it along, maybe with a flash of lightning as the skies were illuminated there over the cornfield. If you have a picture that you want to share with us, go to SiouxlandProud.com, find the weather tab, send us your photos.
Really great shot. Thanks a lot, Scott. Well, Heinz is making the company's mission now to put an end to one of the oldest culinary mysteries. Check it out. The condiment company says it's petitioning to have hot dogs and buns be sold in equal numbers. Hot dogs are commonly sold in a 10-pack. Buns are often sold in packs of 8. Makes sense. So far, Heinz's petition has collected more than 5,800 signatures. If you'd like to be a part of the Heinz Hot Dog Pact, as it's now being called, we have a link posted on our website at the address on your screen, or check out the KCAU 9 mobile news app. The things you can petition for. The chase for the Olympic gold medal is not just being enjoyed by athletes anymore. What 2 Olympic swimming coaches are looking forward to in Tokyo for the Summer Games, coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, there's an influx of young people entering the housing market, and many are using money saved during the pandemic to make a down payment. A deeper look into the home buying trend next. As more millennials and Gen Zers age into the peak home buying years, a new analysis by Zillow shows that more than half plan to use money saved during the pandemic toward buying a home. Erica Francis reports.
There's something beautiful about owning your own home.
And it seems young adults aren't blind to the beauty.
Well, the millennials have been our largest home buyer for a while. It's the Gen Z that I'm starting to really see.
Record low mortgage rates, the primary driver.
Millennials are one of the largest generations that we've seen, and a lot of them are aging into those prime home buying years. That's adding a lot of demand onto the market.
But they're the ones that are listening to the podcast on financials. They are really saving early. They're trying to go to school without debt. They, from the beginning, evidently have more of that mindset.
Nicole Bachode, a Zillow economic data analyst, says about 3 in 5 millennials and Gen Zers plan to use money saved during the pandemic toward a down payment on a home.
And it is worth noting that, a lot of people didn't save anything. The unemployment and job loss that hit last year was really concentrated in industries that were more likely to employ renters who tend to skew younger.
For those who did keep their job and were able to save, it doesn't mean a home came easy.
We have fewer homes, period. Our inventory right now is 1.5 months.
Low inventory and high demand, a disadvantage for first-time buyers.
When you see someone young that really has saved money and they're so excited about wanting to buy, and then they make a great offer on a property, they've got everything in place, their financing's in place, they've saved all this money, they're ready to go for it, and offer after offer, they lose because there's 10 or 11 offers and somebody went $30,000 over list.
Well, as Olympic athletes prepare for Tokyo, so too are the coaches, of course. How 2 swimming coaches are looking forward to enjoying the experience outside the competition and why they say it's their dream come true. Next. At the Olympics, the spotlight is on the athletes, of course, but the coaches are just as honored to be part of that journey. David de Guzman caught up with some of the swimming coaches about their own experience.
I've been a coach already 3 times in the Olympics. I've gone to the opening ceremony. I've gone to enjoy other things. I've gone to sightseeing, because I don't have to rest in between the days. You know what I mean? So I got to see much more and to enjoy.
Not that there isn't business to take care of when Lopez Miro goes to the Summer Games. The Hokies head coach will be guiding Singapore's Joseph Schooling in Tokyo, hoping he'll find the same success in Rio when he won gold in the 100-meter butterfly over Michael Phelps.
For me, I'm a kind of guy that likes to get up, get in someone's face, and just let's freaking go. So I'm that kind of guy. So you need someone like Serge to balance me out. One thing Serge does really well is he keeps track of the big picture. He allows me to express myself, but at the same time, he almost makes me a better version of it.
Todd DeSorbo remembers when he got the invite to become an assistant swim coach for Team USA, when head coach Greg Meehan asked him at the Olympic trials in Omaha.
Just said, hey, is it safe to assume that if you're asked to be on the coaching staff that you'll say yes? And I was like, yeah.
Among DeSorbo's duties in Tokyo will be to mentor his 4 swimmers from the University of Virginia at their first Olympics.
I didn't put these athletes on the U.S. Olympic team. These athletes put me on the U.S. Olympic team. It's a dream come true. It's from a professional perspective and my professional goals. This is the biggest goal I have.
Taking a live look outside right now over a cloudy downtown Sioux City. Scott returns with one more check on your forecast, so don't go away. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon, Sophie. We're following a big debate in Yankton County, South Dakota. That's where a new ordinance could substantially restrict small farm operators there. We're talking to folks on both sides of that emotional issue, and our reporter Mallory Smith has that coming up at 6 o'clock. Elsewhere tonight, just a half hour away, since 2002, the emerald ash borer has been spreading destruction across the United States. Sioux City, in fact, now revising its EAB management plan. We'll tell you what it is and if those pests have arrived. Coming up. And also ahead at 6, a Kansas woman is on track to beat the world record for paddling the entire Mississippi River alone. And get this, she's doing it while also dealing with 2 autoimmune diseases. What's led this woman to this passion and where her journey is now? We'll have that upcoming at 6 o'clock. That's when Jake and I will join the both of you.
All right, thanks so much, Tim. And a quick look at our weather overnight. A cloudy evening here in many places in Siouxland.
Yeah, cloudy right now, Sophie. It looks like those will thin out some tonight with a low temperature of 57. Tomorrow we're on track for a high of 82 in the afternoon, so slightly warmer than today, as it looks like we'll carry a scattered thunderstorm chance. Some of those storms on Friday could be severe, and then cooling off nicely for the weekend.
All right, thank you, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us again here at 6. Until then, have a great night.